Everyone wants to be a content creator, but most of the time people actually feel burned out. They get maybe a couple of hundred of views, 200, 500, and then they give up. Or perhaps they post content, but they don't really get any leads or sales. They don't even make the single dollar using their content. So how can you actually win in 2025 leveraging content creation? Because nowadays, content is actually a must to have. And you're probably running a business, but you're not creating content, you're not getting in front of a camera, letting people know why they should work with you, what you do, what problem you solve for other people. So you might already be running some sort of business, whether it's a service or a coaching, consulting, or perhaps you might even have a product business, but you're looking to gain more trust with people online and you're not currently leveraging your content creation, to let people know what you do and how you're different from other people, then you're missing out. So how can you actually win in 2025 by becoming your own content creator? You see, nowadays it has become so much easier to create content than ever before. So you can start shooting content using your iPhone, using your camera, on your phone. And AI tools have made it so much easier for you to edit your content, to create short form content, to basically automate a lot of the processes that are involved in when it comes to creating content. So how can you actually win in this day and age by becoming your own creator? So we're going to be talking about today on what are some of the key points or metrics that you can look at when it comes to creating your own content. Because I know there's two sides of content. People look at virality and people look at basically getting more leads and sales. And in my opinion, the most important thing if you're running a business is to generate leads and sales and trust. Because you could have millions of followers, and I've seen this time and time again, people have millions or thousands of views or followers, but they don't really know how to monetize it. They don't have a product or a service, or they're not really using the content to generate leads, meaning getting people's information, which is their name, email, phone number, so they could offer them a service or a product on a back end. And people, they just think that getting views, like naturally, it just means more money, which is not true. Because you could see like big influencers that are actually broke and they have 9 to 5, they're doing other jobs, but they might have millions of followers. And you don't want to be that type of creator. You want to be someone who is growing an audience but is able to monetize early on. So if you're considering to become a creator and you're feeling overwhelmed because you currently don't have a proven system or processes in place to basically streamline your content creation, then you're just shooting content randomly, meaning you create content when you feel like it, when you have an idea and you want to record it and you go and shoot it. The issue with that, or the problem with that, is that there is no consistency there, and whatever isn't consistent, then the result's going to be inconsistent as well. So it's like you are running your own business, right? You are generating leads and sales. Imagine if you stop doing that, what's going to happen to your business is probably you're not going to get leads. So same thing with content. So you want to have a proven plug and play content system that you can follow without overthinking. So what you could do is these three things. So the first one is actually coming up with the content ideation or a structure that you can follow. So meaning you want to find out your ideal client profiles, pain points, and their desires. So you want to make a list of all those things. Maybe this could be through a Notion template, or it could be, on a Google Doc. So you're brainstorming some ideas and you spend most of your time or majority of time into content writing. Even the biggest YouTubers that you might follow, maybe Mr. Beast or any of top influencers that you might follow, most of the time they spend researching, they spend creating content, as in the content writing side of things. So make sure you allocate good amount of time doing that, doing the main thing, which is coming up with the ideation, content writing, and finding out what the top creators within your niche or industry are doing. And you don't necessarily want to do it in a way that you're copying them, but get some ideas and inspiration and see how you can actually create your own type of content. And the trap that you want to avoid falling into is comparing yourself with other creators, because they are at a different journey in their content creation journey, and you comparing yourself to other creators is not going to serve you. So the only reason that you want to look at other creators is to find out what's actually working and how you can integrate it in your own content creation. So once you have some sort of template or a process in place that you're writing all this content, you want to have a day of a shooting day as allocated, you batching your own content. Because think of it this way: if you're shooting every single day, you're gonna feel burned out, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, and you feel like you don't even want to continue doing this. Whereas if you come in and you batch all your content for that entire week, now you have a process that you can stick to and just press the record button. You already know the type of content you're gonna create. Maybe you spend 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or however long, depending on the type of content you're creating. You create all your content for that entire week. So let's say you're creating YouTube videos and you post once or twice long form videos in that week. You could batch them, and then plus any other shorts that you need for your organic. That could look like maybe you want to post 2 to 3 on average per week. So you shoot all those content. Now you have your asset already done, and you can start editing. There are so many AI tools nowadays that will edit your content for you, or you can find freelance editor to streamline your process. And then once you do all that, you want to actually track. So you want to see which video is performing better, how many views are you getting on that video, and just double or triple down on the ones that are actually performing. Because last thing you want to do is just keep creating content without tracking or measuring which one is the winning video, which content is actually driving more traffic, more leads and sales for your business. So what I've done is actually I have created a course and a community that will teach you exactly how you can install this step-by-step content system in your business. You might be a coach or a consultant or a service provider, and that content is important, but you never really get a time to do it, or you lack the expertise actually to do it, because there is a lot that goes into it. You need to plan your content, you need to deliver it in a way that is more authentic, because as I mentioned earlier, nowadays there's a lot of AI thing. It can be good or bad, because a lot of creators, they might have an AI clone. They might, try different things where the authenticity of the content is already gone, and people do not align with that as much. So you want to come off as a creator that people can like and trust you, and they want to do business with you. So you want to use AI in a way that is actually working for you, not against you. So I would suggest you getting in front of the camera, building trust. Just use AI to help you with the captions, with the editing and your workflow, and assist you with the content writing side of things. But however, I believe that humanizing the content is valuable. So make sure to not fully rely on AI. AI is just essentially like someone working in your company and making the process seem easier. You still have to direct the AI. You still have to give it good prompt and direction on where you want your content to go. And you probably have experienced this. If you give a bad prompt to an AI, it's gonna generate not a good quality result. So same thing. So you are still your own director, or the business owner, and you have to direct it. And the people who are gonna win as a content creator are the one that give clear direction, whether it's AI, whether it's a team, and keep themselves accountable to create all this content that will potentially help them not only grow their brand, but also be able to generate leads and sales. And lastly, I would recommend to focus more on the long term, your brand growth. So whether it is you are the brand or it's a company brand and you try to create more content consistently, you want to see the long or the bigger picture, not just focus on virality. So virality is like you see something that's already trending and you create that type of content, that piece of content. Maybe that video get hundreds of thousands of views or even millions of views, but relying just on virality is not the best way to go about it. So you could do those things. However, you want to see the bigger picture of what type of content you can create consistently that people gonna align with you and they want to be part of your tribe, they want to be part of your community, and they look forward to seeing the content that you post, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. They get some sort of value out of it that they want to follow you and learn from you for more. So if you've been looking to becoming your own creator but you're not sure how you can essentially create your own content, then I would highly recommend joining my free community, and also have a mini course and a community that I'll link them down below. And if you have any questions, shoot me on a message on Instagram and I'll speak to you soon.